We are New Bedford's news talk station. WBSM.
Glenn.
We are New Bedford's news talk station. WBSM.
Brian, why don't you sing us a song? Because we can't play music here.
La 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 la.
There's rights to that.
La 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 la.
All right, we're back. Thank you.
One
for that.
more time.
Do I have to pay you? Do I have to pay you?
No royalty because somebody else made up that song.
Brian's not taking this as personal as I am. If these rumors about Tom Brady giving Seattle's Seahawks team advice on how to deal with McDaniel's offensive schemes in order to give them the victory over the Patriots last Super Bowl, I'm taking it personally. As a guy who we put a statue up and he's a Patriot forever, says all the right things. If he did that, I think he's going to have the Patriot Nation turn on him.
So, if Bill Belichick gave a couple of indicators to Seattle, would you feel the same way?
No, because Kraft stabbed him in the back. It's a little different.
Okay. Well, Kraft could have overruled Belichick to keep Brady here. He didn't.
He listened to Belichick.
Okay.
No, he trusted him.
Okay, he trusted Bill.
It was the right move.
So what I'm getting at is maybe Brady felt stabbed in the back.
Yes.
By both of them.
I bet there is some of that.
Now he made that move to Seattle. But here's what I really
How can
think,
he be angry?
Tim.
He got another Super Bowl. How can look, he has to be happy with that.
He could have gotten another Super Bowl here.
No.
I'm just saying.
That team was spent.
You know what? I'm just saying he could have.
All right.
But
here's the
bottom.
Based on his last year here, a home playoff game and a very untalented Tennessee team eliminates you, it was a good release. Never a good time to say goodbye to the GOAT, but that was it was a right call.
My way of looking at it is, for Brady, it's business. Somebody's offering, maybe they're offering some do-re-mi, and it's as long as it's legal, why not do it?
I think you do it for free if it's true. If he's going to do it, I don't think, a guy with, what does he get, $600 million?
People always take money.
I'll give you $30. I mean, what are they going to pay him?
Think he's doing commercials for free?
No, he's right.
Okay.
What else is he going to?
He's TB12. It's a business.
Well, what's he going to do with this time? He's young. He's handsome. He's got all this energy. Of course, he's going to not become obscure, but to go out and hurt the team that you swear you're a Patriot forever, to go behind their backs and stab your friend Josh McDaniels in the back. I hope it's not true, but if it is, I'm going to turn it on.
I don't know if it's true or not, but
you understand it though.
If a coaching team, Seattle, let's say, says, "Hey, look, we can talk to Tom Brady about this and see if he's interested, and if Brady's interested, give them some tips." Why not?
What are they going to
pay? These are pros. It happens all the time.
They're not going to pay him $100,000 for something like that, though.
Who knows?
It's going to be free.
Pay. I don't know, but I know it happens. Romeo Crennel used to do the same thing when he was down in Houston. He would still give Belichick tips.
Mm-hmm.
So
I get it. But I just think a guy who has been adored by Patriot Nation is going to lose that.
He might.
Yeah.
I won't argue that.
Yeah.
He might. But to Brady,
You know what's funny?
It's a business.
I said it recently, too. In retrospect, outside of football, I like Peyton Manning more. I think he's a more fun guy to be around, right? I think I'd like his personality a lot more than Brady's. Kind of an irritating little brother kind of guy.
Think so?
Yeah. I mean, some model that he was dating, first date he shows up to her door, he's got a protein drink in his hand. Come on, just take it easy.
Maybe he doesn't drink liquor.
I'm sorry, but do you bring a? What would you think?
Is he pushing it?
So if he was drinking liquor, you bring a door to pick the girl up? Or are you going to bring a beer in your hand? I'm just saying. I just thought, just take it easy.
Well,
ridiculous.
He's who he is.
True.
But I agree with. What do you think Peyton Manning does? You think he goes statewide?
I'd like
on
to
your
find out.
side? Nationwide.
I would love to hang out with Gronk, Peyton Manning, and Edelman. Those three guys. I loved all three of them. They seem like they'd be a hoot to be around. Eli Manning's funny.
Can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's more of a dry pan.
The Manning brothers are. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's witty. I don't know. But
hey, you know what? He pulled off a coup. Think about it. I don't want to play in San Diego.
His dad orchestrated that.
But
got him in the big
he's
market.
The one who didn't want to play.
Got him in the big market. Delivered 2 Super Bowls.
Yes, he did.
Unlikely. One against an undefeated Patriots team. Happy story, right? I mean,
you say unlikely.
Oh yeah.
Pardon me. Not that I'm the big guru here, but that last game of the season, regular season game, the way the Giants played the Patriots in a game that neither team needed, that told me that when come Super Bowl time on a neutral turf,
the matchups,
they had it.
They matched up well.
Yeah.
They really did. But I still thought Randy Moss, Tom Brady, unstoppable all year.
Yeah.
And Moss had trouble getting open in time because the pass rush was just incredible. Anyway, we got a couple of calls. And you are first on the hour. Welcome to the Ken Pittman Show.
Yeah, I'm talking about immigration.
Yep.
According to the law, if you come here unauthorized to this country, you are considered undocumented, illegal, whatever terms you want to use. But you're violating the law.
Yes.
Now, if you look at the same law that says that these people that come here unauthorized makes them undocumented, illegal. If you read further down, it says it's against the law to hire illegals or undocumented people. It's against the law. Now, my point is this. You see a raid they had in Narcissus Street. It's a car wash business.
Yes.
ICE goes in there and they chase the Hispanics away, and the owner's sitting down smoking a cigar. He's violating the law, too. The owners...
Wait a minute. Let me hold you there. Because if he used a temp agency to bring these people in a van and they're the ones who are supposed to vet them, he's off the hook.
Well, that's a big excuse. It makes no sense because the temp agency has to prove that they documented.
They have to prove that these guys have a right. In order to hire them, they have to be able to produce a social security number and all this stuff, which they get. They buy them. But the employer, if he's subcontracting from the temp agency, he's off the hook. The temp agency now has to pay the fines for hiring illegal immigrants.
Well, the according to the law, only U.S. citizens and green card holders are allowed to work here.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say nothing about temporary agencies.
The temporary agency is
hold
on. The temporary agency is the employer. So in the case of the car wash gives a bunch of money to the temp agency. The temp agency then disperses that money to the employees.
I've investigated these temp agencies in a a criminal case I was working on. And a lot of these temp agencies are run by scumbags. Not all of them, but they're, the scumbags, they get caught, they fold, they open up under another name, they open up another LLC with the Secretary of Massachusetts, and they do the whole thing all over again. In some cases, they're even getting these Social Security numbers so that these people can work for them.
Well, the thing is that, in my opinion,
Yep.
if temporary agency is being used to bypass the U.S. Constitution in regards to only citizens and green card holders can work here, then the Republicans should put that out of business.
Well, you have to prove that they knew these people were here illegally, because what they're going to tell you is that, well, this guy provided me with all documentation that was necessary for me to hire him, so I hired him. I didn't know he was illegally here. He has his Social Security number. He's, as far as I know, he was legit. They're going to just say that.
Well, they might say that, but I'm going to tell you, because I know a lot of these people, they don't have to even do that. They just hire them, and they don't have to prove nothing. And
I mean, if you have a guy who's like from Guatemala, and he shows up with a Social Security number and telling you that his name is Sean O'Brien,
right? Yeah, and you do your due diligence. You hire the person. You need him, you hire him.
But for the most part, they're off the hook. They covered their bases. It's a game. The government's given enough loopholes, but that has to end.
Well, the loophole has to end, and chasing down Hispanics down the streets in New Bedford has to end too.
Yeah, but again,
optics are terrible.
Why is the state of California giving out CDL licenses to illegal immigrants? Those are to put them to work. You're giving them the right to work. That's illegal.
Well, this is
commercial driver's license.
This is my point. You start putting some of these company owners in jail. When you chase the Hispanic down the road, arrest the owner too. Let him fight it out in court as to why he's doing what he's doing.
But you have too many people in government that are okay with this. Look,
I was going to say,
do you remember
that is the reason why.
The Michael Bianco raid was an eye-opener for me because you had, 386 or something like that, people rounded up by ICE, by the Bush administration, when they had a federal contract and local seamstresses and local labor could have been doing these jobs at a prevailing wage. And instead, you didn't have a city councilor. You didn't have the Congressman Barney Frank. You didn't have the mayor. You didn't have anybody letting people know that there was work to be gained. Go down there, apply. No, they hid it from the public so that illegal immigrants could do the work, and that the owner of the company was not paying them prevailing wages. He's pocketing everything, fining them if they're going to the bathroom. Unbelievable the conditions they had to work under. They corrected it. They got them out of there. People from here started working. And then the crazy communists, Tony Cabral and all these guys that get out, they scream at the company, "You better unionize, or we're not going anywhere." And the company left the state.
They go somewhere.
That's what happens in Massachusetts.
Well, in that case that you're mentioning, if my memory works well, they arrested the owners.
Yes, Francisco Ansolia, I think was his name.
And this,
Michael.
Yeah, and this is my point. They have to arrest these people, these business owners. No excuses. When you run down the Hispanics down the streets, don't allow the owner to sit down smoking a cigar. You're going to.
I'm sorry, but if he had a temp agency cover his trail, then he's done nothing wrong legally.
Well, nowhere, this is my point, that nowhere, you read the law here, nowhere does it say that you can violate the law of the United States by getting a temporary agency.
You're missing what Ken is trying to say. The owner did not hire the people. The owner hired the temp agency.
Who told him that they have proof.
The folks over there.
The temp agency says, we have proof they all belong here in the country. They're not, and they're all able to work here. So he's off the hook. He can sit down and smoke a cigar. He has nothing to worry about if they use the temp agency.
Well, this is my point. You're saying that I'm missing your point, but you're missing my point.
Well, no, I do understand what you're saying. You're saying how it should be, but it's not.
No, because nowhere in the law does it say that agency can hire people. The U.S. law says green cards and U.S. citizens.
That's right. And if these guys give them,
I'm not even
thank
sure.
you for the call.
I'm not even sure that's what the U.S. law says, because we have people here in this country that are working without a green card because they have a visa.
How do we punish employers while the state of California is giving out commercial driver's licenses for them to work? How do you punish an employer if the government is doing it? It's impossible.
I don't know that you do.
It's impossible. It's a crazy situation. Thank you for calling. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Okay. Not only that, I live not too far from there. Two of the people at the car wash, they ran into the woods and they never caught them. The day they pulled a raid on the car wash over here on North Street. So they were upset because two of those people got away. So here's why I called you. As far as I'm concerned, Ken, this is very important, what I'm going to tell you. Okay, here's what bothers me.
Okay.
President Trump come up with the tariffs. Okay, all these companies pay the tariffs. Okay, I went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court told Trump and the administration, you've got to rebate that money back to all the people that put an application in of how much money they paid. Yeah, right. I understand that, right?
Yeah, they had to get back to tariff.
Okay, you
money.
understand that? Okay.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, I'm going to tell you this because I know. I send somebody to the market, and Ken, before this happened, I used to buy coffee for $4.58. That became $6.99. I don't drink the water here in New Bedford. I buy gallons of water from Poland Spring. That used to be $1.78. That became $1.99. Oh, the third thing. This is another thing I want to tell you.
$6 a case in some places.
Yeah,
Criminal.
we're talking about Mexico and Canada. Okay, every weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I have salad with my meals.
Okay.
The tomatoes I was buying used to be $1.29 a pound. Did you know those tomatoes became $2.99 a pound? And they were from Mexico and they were from Canada. The best tomatoes I ever had are from Canada. It's because of their water. Okay, here's my question.
You never had San Marzano tomatoes from Italy?
No. Here's my question to you. And this is just a few things I'm mentioning to you. Okay, Ken, here's the thing. Okay, if let's say it's MB, Market Basket. Okay, let's say, Market Basket is getting all their money back from the government. Well, here's my question. How about all the money that I paid extra to Market Basket?
Yeah.
Who's going to compensate me?
Nobody.
Yeah,
Nobody.
The
That's
money,
right.
the
So
money's directly going to go to the
who the
wholesalers.
hell's the benefit of this? Who's the benefit?
The companies.
Yeah, that's right. So,
the companies
so,
that
you
can
know,
afford
as
to
far as
go
I'm
through the
concerned,
paperwork in order to
Ken,
get
this
that
is the
money
way
back.
I feel. Market Basket ought to give me
No, you're wrong.
a gift card of at least $50.
No, you're wrong. Because Market Basket is not going to get that money. The people who sell them their shelf items, they're the ones who got the tariffs. So the money's going to go to them. Market Basket had to pay more to purchase those for the customer, and they have to pass
That's
those.
right, yeah.
So it's not Market Basket that's going to owe you the money. If anybody, it's going to be that the wholesaler should drop the prices down to make up for it over time.
Well, they haven't.
Right.
In other words, I know I get the list of what things cost. The coffee the coffee is still $6.99.
And did you,
the coffee comes from
wherever you
Brazil.
get the coffee, did you say anything to the people running the store?
No, because I'm handicapped. I don't go to the store. I have a person that does that for me.
Okay.
So you know what I'm saying. So who the hell benefit?
No, it's a good observation. It's a good observation. Yeah, there's no makeup for it.
By this.
Yeah, there's no makeup for it. I get it. I
will
appreciate
not
the
be.
call.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye bye.
I got to flee.
Okay, Bri. Thanks for calling. You next.
Yes, I just kind of heard the story lately that Tom Brady allegedly helped the Seattle Seahawks.
Maybe I don't know what the source of that is.
where
They're talking about it on Boston sports radio, so that's why we mentioned
What was he talking to somebody? Kind of giving.
Apparently, the accusation is that Tom Brady helped Seattle's franchise understand what to do against Josh McDaniels' offensive schemes. McDaniels writes.
That's really negative. And
If so,
put a big statue of him and praise him. He's like a god in New England, and he does something like that to the fans of New England. Help him win.
I gotta say, if it's true, now I don't know. Again, I don't know the level of credibility.
Okay.
I don't know if they screwed up by even mentioning
he's a
this
real
without.
bad guy. Then it's like I said, to do something like that we tried so hard to get in and help in Seattle. It seemed like Seattle knew every single thing that New England was doing. It's like incredible. So is there going to be probably more information out on that, or
I think less because whoever was involved with that is going to button all that up. Unless somebody's willing to just blow it open. I doubt.
Why do you think it's just because Tom Brady's ego? He didn't want no other, the quarterback of the Patriots to kind of get the acclaim and to win another Super Bowl?
Yeah, I don't know.
Animosity?
It's a good question. It's a real good question. What would be his motive? I don't think he should be unhappy about leaving because he got another ring and the Patriots continue to fail.
He got $30 million for each year with
Tampa
Bay. So
he stepped into an absolute
$17 million.
He stepped into an absolute Lamborghini while we were tanking. It was a very tired, spent team after 20 years of drafting at the bottom.
So do you think maybe his ego and everything and What's your opinion of this?
I'm not going to accuse him of it.
Astonishing.
You know, nothing's a fact for me until it's a fact. It's a rumor that started in Boston radio. I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know the source, so I'm certainly not going to endorse the source or as a credible one. I don't know anything.
Well, that really dampens the character of Tom Brady if this is all true.
If it's true, yeah.
And I just had to bring this up. Hopefully, more information comes out on this.
You know, you can go from goat to another kind of goat if that's true. But I don't. Would he be willing to risk the love? And it's been described as a one-sided love affair. We love him. Maybe he doesn't love us so much.
Right.
I hope it's not true, but we'll wait and see. I don't think we'll ever get to the bottom of it, but if we do, I'd be very disappointed, obviously.
There should be an NFL investigation on this to help some. He knows all of Daniel's, maneuvers.
Well, it's not undone.
His schemes.
Like it was mentioned by Paul Santos earlier. Romeo Cromwell, when he was done with the Houston team, he had to help out Belichick for the playoffs and give him advice and things like that. It's not undone, but for a guy who is venerated like Tom Brady is by football fans in New England, for him to try to do what he can to stop them from being successful again, needlessly, because he's an owner of the Raiders. He claims to be a Patriot forever.
Minority.
Right? It's a very special situation where the greatest of all time, with all that success, was embraced by an entire region. For him to lose all that love and capital, very risky. But I don't know if it's true or not. I couldn't comment on it. I don't even know what the source is.
Well, he's one of the richest guys around.
Yeah.
He's loaded, and he has no reason to do something like this if that's the case. And
if he went out of his way to harm the Patriots, then I'll turn on him. I'm a Patriot. I'm not a Tom Brady fan first.
Yeah, but he knows all. Last thing, I'll drop off the line. He knows all the schemes of Daniels and all that stuff. The entire
probably helped to design a lot of it.
That Seattle knew everything. I hate to go back to that awful game, but everything they were doing. And anyway, that's terrible. And I just had to make a comment on that.
But a lot of it can be explained. He wasn't getting pass protection. They weren't even blitzing.
That too, of course. But
because he had no time to develop anything, no matter what you're throwing out there. But
it did seem like they had the whole game plan of the Patriots, and there was nothing there. It was on the offensive side. Defense was okay. They held out.
I think a little bit it was the team defying gravity. It is going to be a good team. It's a good team, but it's still learning how to win. They really jumped the gun with the success they had last year. Usually that takes 3-4 years to get to that level when you're building a team, and they did it in the first year. I think that the fact that they played a very weak schedule and a weak schedule with almost every week the key player to those teams was out. It was remarkable the luck the Patriots had. And then they finally faced a fully equipped Super Bowl legitimate team in the Seahawks. I think that's what happened.
But I think probably Denver should have won if their top quarterback hadn't got injured.
I don't have any doubt.
Should have been Denver in there instead of the Patriots were ready for it. But that's an awful thing. And about Brady, if it's true, have a nice day.
Thank you. Yeah, I completely agree. If Bo Nix plays that game and not stray them, Denver's in that Super Bowl. And that's a pretty good game. I think they matched up better than the Patriots because I think the defense of Denver's is superior. But I just hope it's not true. I don't know the source of who's making the claim Brady helped Seattle. And again, McDaniels and Brady are supposed to be very good friends. So that would be, I think, disappointing for Josh McDaniels if he did that. But he's a weird dude. He's great. Usually the greats have a little weirdness to them. Bruce Lee was the greatest martial artist that I've ever known about. One of my actually, he was my first hero. And he's training 14 hours a day. There's a little something weird and obsessive about that, right? Usually the greatest are obsessed at improving every aspect of their whatever it is they're doing, whether it's an artist, a recording artist, an athlete. There's a little weirdness to them. That's why they're unusually good, because they're unusual. But I'd like to think Tom Brady didn't do this. I don't have any answers, so I don't, you guys want to talk about it, I'm not going to have much for you, other than the fact that rumor's out there. 508-996-0500. Earlier we were talking about Graham Plattner, and after all of the horrible things that came to light about him, like 7 terrible scandals, Elizabeth Warren endorsed him anyway. And then they looked at the polls with this last allegation of rape by a former girlfriend. He kicked the door in, forced himself on her. And it was an interview on CNN, which is a Democratic-friendly network. That was a little too much to stand by him, so they all bailed on him, and now he's forced to get out of the race. And you knew it was coming, but it was unbelievable that they endorsed him after all of these things came to light. And people on the left will say, "Oh, you got nothing to say. You elected Trump." But we had decades of knowing Donald Trump, decades of seeing some of the great things he did, honored by the NAACP, fixing the Central Park rink with his own money. Maybe that's not a big deal to you, but he just was sick and tired of the government failing, felt that nobody could do it except for him, and he got it fixed after years of watching them fail. And after watching how government was operating, said, the only one that can fix this is me. He jumped in the presidential race and was only hated once he got in the way of the Democratic Party. That's the first time he's ever been considered a hateful racist. That's what they got. And if they can't attack somebody, whether it's about race, gender, sexuality, class, they can't open their mouths because their ideas won't get them elected. So they need to demonize. They got to find you the boogeyman so that you vote for them even with their inferior plans. 508-996-0500. You are on the air. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
When it comes to the Graham Plattner Trump comparison, I mean, objectively, I usually vote blue, and I will tell you that I think Graham Plattner, what he was accused of doing is worse than anything that we've ever heard about Donald Trump. But that being said, I mean, shortly before Trump was elected, there was a leaked audio recording of him saying what he said about grabbing women by the you-know-what.
Yeah. And
I think if it wasn't for Trump being elected, there wouldn't have been tolerance for somebody like Graham Plattner, because with each with each iteration of the next guy to come down the line, what's tolerated is going to be broader and broader.
I agree,
and I think that it's just one thing that I look back on and I think it's hilarious is with what came out about Trump before he was elected, with what came out about Plattner before he was axed. You go back to 2004. And Howard Dean was canceled for screaming in an enthusiastic way during a rally on stage. I mean, that poor guy must look now and see what the voters are willing to tolerate and look back and say, like, and I was canceled because I got excited during a rally speech. It's really interesting to look back at that Howard Dean situation.
You know, but I agree that scream was the last straw. That wasn't the only straw. That's how fragile his candidacy was, though. But, that only something like that could knock him off. Right. I mean, I think people looked at Donald Trump. Yeah, he's a little boorish. He's more of an Eastern European style leader. But I mean, this is a guy who knows how to. He's an executive, and he might do a great job. And then, when I first watched the Republican primaries, I had no intention to vote for this cartoon character of a candidate. And then he was saying he was the only one saying what I wanted done in terms of locking down the immigration. It was crazy what we're giving away here and what we're accepting, and with these trade deals that are just anything but advantageous to America. All these things, he's the only one saying them, so I somehow found myself voting for him.
Well, when it comes to one thing about Trump in the especially with the Republican primaries, I agreed with him on was how hard he went after Jeb Bush about
low energy Jeb.
And I agreed with Trump on that, and I thought he was right on the money about it. The ironic thing about that part of his campaign is a lot of people that are now Trump supporters were at one time big supporters of George W. Bush in the war in Iraq.
That's right.
And they've since changed their tune. But anyway,
I got a different perspective on it. I thought Bush prosecuted the war wrong, but I thought Saddam Hussein should have been taken down. But that's a different story. But Jeb Bush took so much money before Donald Trump got involved. He actually had enough money to pay talented campaign people to sit on the fence and not work for Donald Trump or Rubio or Cruz. And what Donald Trump did with a ragtag assembly of people that were left to run a campaign, to take down the RNC and then the Democratic machine, that is remarkable what happened.
No, it is. It is. And I actually, it's funny, sometimes I'll go back and watch some of those debates leading into that first election in 2016. And Trump, objectively, is a different person now. He's aged considerably. If you watch him speak now versus when he was in those debates, he was a lot sharper back then.
Oh, in 2016?
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
It's 10 years.
Yeah. It's quite. If you like I said, if you go directly watch something recent compared to then, it's quite a difference.
But look at the aging, right? Barack Obama, from when he took office to when he left. I mean, it is an exhausting job. Jimmy Carter, I think, is the greatest example of how taxing it is on the body. I mean,
W by the end,
8 years.
Looks like a different guy.
Sure.
Yeah, 8 years. It's quite astonishing. But anyway, the main purpose of my call was to the Howard Dean comparison with what people are willing to tolerate now versus what got you axed in 2004.
Well, Mitt Romney was really doing well until the story came out that he put a dog on a roof in a cage on a family vacation.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Right?
That's right, yeah.
It really speaks to how fragile that candidacy happens to be, in my opinion.
Look at this comparison. Old man Bush, no new taxes, instituted new taxes, and that got him. But I mean, Trump said no new wars, and look at what we're in the middle of in Iran. But that, it's a whole different landscape now on what voters will and will not tolerate.
Yeah, no, and you're right about you don't get a platinum without a Trump. I agree. I think it gives them an excuse to hire a moron like that, because look, this guy, they've got nothing to say because they voted for. Now they can say it, an educated rapist.
Oh, the Democrats, look, like I said, I usually vote blue, but the Democrats are some of the biggest hypocrites on the planet. I'm a registered independent, so I like to be able to look at both sides objectively and levy out criticism when criticism is warranted.
You're the biggest party, lack of party. You're the biggest block of voters, the independent voter.
Yeah. Yep. But anyway, I thank you for taking my call, and have a good weekend.
Good call, thank you. Yeah, I agree. You don't get somebody that can behave like Plattner without having somebody like Trump. And of course, his remark to Billy Bush, what he thought was a private conversation. The problem I had with that, and it was a terrible comment, right? When you're rich and famous, you can just grab them by the... Look, that's an unfortunate remark, stupid remark. But do not kid yourselves. If you don't think these other senators, these presidents, if you don't think they speak like that in front of guys, you're just naive. Maybe not that exact comment, but trust me, their language, their persona, their character is very different off air and away from the cameras and mics than it is, unless you really believe. You really believe that Barack Obama acted like that around his buddies. I would much rather have a beer with Barack Obama than some of these Republicans, right? He seems like away from politics, seems like a good guy. But believe me, politically, he's a nasty guy. But I don't trust Republican, Democrat, anybody who puts on a character of themselves, especially when they do it clumsily, because it just means they're stupid, that you're supposed to believe this is who they are. Now, obviously, that it's like a bad actor. And so if you're not comfortable with who you are, I'll give you an example. Chris Markey, who's a friend, but he's exactly who he is on air or off air. He's comfortable letting you know who he is. Guys like that, I think, I find way more trustworthy. If he doesn't agree with you politically, he's going to say why, and I respect his opinion because it's well thought out, all that kind of thing. But the ones who, put their hand on their chest and they're inside their vest and they start this stump speech, that's not a real person. And be wary of all those. It doesn't matter what their politics are. But Plattner had all these terrible things about him, and then that's the thing that gets me. If one or two came out, right, and you want to, before it gets worse, if you're going to plan to endorse him, get it out, right? They waited until there were 7 serious things, 7 serious problems, and then they endorsed him. I thought that was crazy. And now this last one was just a bridge too far. But why'd they wait for this, that, the other thing, all these terrible things to come in? They kept thinking, well, yeah, that opposition research, that's got to be it, though, right? Because this is pretty bad. It kept coming. It didn't stop. And it probably would have been more. But they bailed in 24 hours. So now they're going to say, well, we get rid of our rapists. I've already read it. The problem I have with that comment is I don't believe Donald Trump did that to E. Jean Carroll. I think the fact that it was dismissed in so many courts as being not credible at all. The fact that she, in her witness statement, stated that the dress she was wearing when it happened, she keeps and has it today as a reminder. When it was discovered that dress wasn't available to just over a year later than that incident. And yet he was railroaded anyway. And that's how I'm going to describe it, because I believe it was. I think they judge shopped. They found a Trump hater, a radical leftist judge with arguably ridiculous rules for the jury. And the other higher courts, I understand why they decided not to touch it. So it's permanent. He's now legally guilty of what she claims. But I think he was railroaded. And I think 70 million plus voters felt that. But he had more armor, right? So he has more armor than Plattner, because here he is, a super executive, the most famous face of capitalism in world history, maybe. A celebrity. He's in how many TV shows, how many movies, either personally on camera or mentioned. He's iconic. And wasn't hated until he was the president. I never really cared for his personality. I've watched him since the 80s. I always found him arrogant. But I think a lot of the policies that he's implementing and the fact that he can smash right through all the criticism and do what needs to be done, I think that's a great thing. He was able to, he doesn't care about the criticism if he thinks it's the right thing to do. I happen to agree. You might not like the immigration reversal, but Joe Biden is the reason we're seeing what we're seeing on the immigration front. It was all fun and games. Everybody's laughing. Everybody's taking and stealing and scheming, defrauding. Many more were brought into the country by the government that we'll never know about. I witnessed one large group come into Somerville one night, and I have to extrapolate that. My God, that's just me watching at 11:30 in a neighborhood in Somerville one night on surveillance. Think of the 18,000 cities and towns around the country. What happened? So this is what it looks like when you and the American people hired him to fix what happened during the Biden administration with the floodgates opened for illegal immigration. 508-996-0500. The latest ICE incident happened in Texas. A man who had been a father, hardworking guy, no other criminal activity in his supposed 35 years here. And he was driving a van with several workers inside. One of them was the focus of the ICE operation, and they tried to pull him over. He decided to try to escape. ICE is claiming that he was going to run one of them over, and they shot him while he was driving. And he's dead. And he's a father. His kids are American citizens. I don't believe for a minute the story that he was working on getting his visa. He's been here 35 years. He was gonna. I don't buy that. But that doesn't mean he deserved to die. If he was trying to escape, even at the cost of running over a federal agent, I would expect them to open fire. Whether he has a criminal history or not, they have the right to go home to their families. I didn't see it. I don't know the quality of evidence that we're going to see, but it's a big issue right now. But these guys have a job to do. And you don't get to pick and choose which laws you like in this country and which ones you're going to help the criminal escape and which ones you're going to be okay with police doing their job, enforcing the law. We're a nation of laws. At least that's what a lot of the liberals say when people refer to God, one nation under God. Oh, no, not under God. We're a nation of laws. Well, now, are we? You're going to be capricious about which ones you want to follow because you don't personally like them? A lot of holes in that story. 508-996-0500. I'll be back in just a few moments. You're listening to the Ken Pittman Show on AM 1420 WBSM 99.5 FM. You can listen on your computer at WBSM.com. And, of course, on your phone, you should download the WBSM app. It's free, and there's a lot of reasons to do that. Once you open the app, you'll see some of the deals and opportunities. And we'll be back.
Hey, Pete, can you feel it? The chrome is shining, the oldies are playing, and downtown New Bedford is stepping back in time for Joe Jesus' 50th night.
That's right, Ron. Classic cars, great music, neighbors catching up on the street.
Cardi's Furniture and Mattresses is proud to keep the tradition rolling by sponsoring the 50s night soundtrack on WBSM.
Grab the family, stroll downtown, check out the incredible cars, and enjoy great community spirit.
Don't forget, WBSM will be spinning those 50s hits all night long on 1420 AM, 99.5 FM, and on the WBSM app.
See you at Joe Jesus' 50s night
on Thursday, July 16th.
From Nairobi and all of us at Cardi's Furniture and Mattresses, keep on running.
The WBSM app. On the move. Going everywhere you go in the palm of your hand. Download our free mobile app now in the App Store and Google Play.
The Ken Pittman Show, 1420 WBSM, New Bedford.
All right, we're back, and we're going right to the phones, starting with you. Thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Ken.
Good morning.
How did your show go last week?
Last week? I wasn't on air.
Did you play? No, didn't you play up in Situate someplace?
Oh, we played in Hingham last night.
Hingham. Oh, it was last night.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
Good, yeah. It was a large crowd. First time I'd played with this exact group of players, and a couple of hiccups, but I thought it was an overall really good show.
Good. Glad to hear it. Hey, I had Sheriff Hero was on the radio on WBSM, I think maybe 2 days ago, or yesterday or 2 days ago, but regardless of that, he was taking questions, and he actually admitted that he doesn't like ICE, and he actually admits the fact that he will, instead of working with ICE, he will gladly work in the criminals or in illegal aliens' behalf, so that ICE won't get the opportunity to arrest these people while they're being let out on bail. And he actually admits that. And that means he puts their illegal aliens' life before a citizen of this country.
No, he's a true radical. I mean, he's got actual communists working for him. I'm not sure he's not one, but I can tell you right now, morale is very down from everybody I speak to at that facility, the sheriff's department, and I can tell you that this guy doesn't like his job and is looking for another job. And I think he's probably eyeing Congress. He's very calculated. So he's making national positions and statements that I think it would indicate that. But, for him to say, who does ICE think they are? Who does he think he is? ICE is the has the full federal authority behind them to enforce the law. And if it's the president's will to do an aggressive job rounding up people who do not belong here, and by the way, they've rounded up enough, not just illegal immigrants, that's a much larger number at 600,000, but 330,000 have serious criminal histories. That's enough for 18 in every one of the, every single one of the U.S. 18,000 towns and cities.
Unreal.
And for him to be in the way of that tells you how radical he is.
That's crazy. That was a crazy thing. And he's quite polished. And and the way he words it, he doesn't word it in a way that would actually, use the actual word saying, I don't care about an American citizen's life. He doesn't actually say that, but you can't change it. You're either on one side or the other. And he's not on the side of law, and he's definitely not on the side of American citizens. You can't walk that fine line. It's just wrong. It's wrong. And I was so upset.
I agree. I actually wrote something on Twitter. Oh, who do you think you are? Why are you asking who does ICE think they are? Who the hell are you? You're just a sheriff. I mean, the ICE is acting on the full authority and support of the federal government and the president of the United States. Who does he think he is?
It really, what a piece of work, man! I'll tell you what a.
Collectively, Bristol County voted poorly. You had one of the great statesmen, and Tom Hodgson, not just the greatest sheriff. I mean, this guy was a true statesman. Really overqualified just to be sheriff. It's unfortunate that he, in most states, I think he would have been a great congressman, but Massachusetts wouldn't. It's very liberal, and he's not a liberal, obviously. But they passed him over for this guy, and I think it's a tremendous mistake.
There is a good thing about Tom not winning that election. He was instrumental in getting Trump elected, and a lot of votes, definitely out of Massachusetts for sure.
Well, it didn't help. It didn't help Trump win Massachusetts, but he actually seems very happy with his life right now. So I'm happy for him. But I just, selfishly, I just wish he was involved a little bit because he's got a great mind for politics.
Yeah, he didn't win the state, but they for the first time, Republicans won a lot of small towns, and I think that was important too, and it's a stepping stone to the right direction, anyways.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see how things fall. And
the Coalition for Social Justice, which is a communist organization, when they try to demonize him as a racist without any basis, like they say in politics, if you're taking flack, you're over the target.
Yep, good point. Absolutely. Hey, good to have you on, man. Take care.
Thanks. You take care. 508-996-0500. We're coming up to the top of the hour. I got a couple more minutes of open line here. 508-996-0500. The DSA versus the Democratic Party. There is a real problem within the Democratic Party, and they better straighten it out before the primary ends, or you're looking at another trifecta for the Republicans. House, Senate, obviously the White House will remain Republican through 28. If the Republicans win in 26, that really increases the chances for the president, the presidency in 28. Not only do the Republicans enjoy a deeper bench of quality candidates, but with control of both houses of Congress, it's going to be very difficult for the Democrats to overcome all that without taking at least one of the houses, whether it's the House of Representatives or the Senate. It's going to be very difficult for them to win in 28, which is a very important one because now you have a census. And governorships are going to be very important as well. As every decade we do this, it's a very, very important race. That's the 28 election. I'm not going to say what everybody says every year. There's a presidential election. It's the most important one of our time. I'm not sure that's going to be the case, but they're all vital these days. And we're seeing how fast things can go sideways. We get a real communist push. Now we're talking about no more security at the borders, open borders, in an increasing social program country. You're going to have every struggling person in the world try to just get here and take from the resources of the taxpayers of the United States. And that's the goal for a lot of people running for Congress. For Congress, maybe for President AOC, they want to defund the police. They certainly want to weaken the military. These are being funded by people like Soros, by people like Singham, radical communists. I do notice that when they go after billionaires, nobody should be a billionaire. Nobody ever singles out George Soros. And he has ruined the economies of several nations. And he's wanted in several countries, but they don't talk about that side of George Soros. Off to the newsroom. We'll catch up with you in just a few moments. You're listening to Ken Pittman.
WBSM and W258DR, New Bedford, a Town Square media station.
Playing mobile games and not getting rewarded for it is a thing of the past. Why haven't you switched yet? If you're going to spend the time playing, you should be earning rewards doing it. With Misplay, you play what you love and earn points for gift cards and more. Plus, you can enter the Missed Play sweepstakes for your chance to win tens of thousands of dollars in cash, bundles, and gift cards every week. So yeah, keep playing games. Just maybe get rewarded for it? Download Missed Play today and enter for your chance to win.